From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Coming up next is Live at 5 on WCTE PBS and its streaming platforms to provide updates on communities throughout Central Tennessee.
Welcome to this special Friday edition of Live at 5 here on WCTE. We have some great guests for you coming up from the Putnam County School Systems. I'm Misty Stewart, the Education and Engagement Coordinator here at WCTE. And our first guest that we're going to welcome with us is Mr. Corby King, Director of Schools in Putnam County. Thank you for joining us, Mr. King.
Thank you, Misty. Enjoy being with you this afternoon.
So you actually have some good news for us. So last year was a completely different year in the school system with COVID and with the struggles of, being virtual part of the year and for then coming back the following school year. And so there was learning loss across, the entire country. But Putnam County schools actually saw an increase in their scores and their overall performance. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. We did. In the midst, and it was the most challenging year in education. This is my 23rd year as an educator. And last year we dealt with things that teachers, students, administrators, no one's had to deal with anything like COVID in the midst of a school year. But our students and teachers worked extremely hard, and it's really exciting. We were named our growth scores. We're a level 5 district, which is the highest score that you can receive in Tennessee. And that just reflects the hard work that our students and teachers put in last year in the midst of all of the isolation and quarantine and the absences from that. We were able to remain in person all year. We were dedicated to that. We worked really hard to keep our students in class. And it's good to see that their work paid off in the growth scores as we received those.
And I also noticed that out of the overall district rank, Putnam County Schools actually ranked 33 out of 146 districts in the state. So that's pretty impressive as well.
Yes, we were really excited about that to be at that position in the rankings. If you look at those 33 districts who are ahead of us, lots of those are smaller special school districts, different socioeconomic backgrounds, just some of the things challenges that they don't necessarily face some of the challenges that we face in the rural districts. So we were really excited to be ranked that high among our peers.
And I noticed that the overall accountability GPA actually went up as well. So from 2019, it was a 2.0, and then it went up to a 2.4 on a 4.0 scale, which doesn't seem like a big difference, but that's actually a pretty significant difference, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It is hard to move that scale. It is hard to move. Even a tenth of a percentage point is a difficult move. There's so many things. It's a really complicated formula, but that brings in achievement growth, chronic absenteeism, your subgroups, English language learners, lots of information that goes into that accountability growth measure. So to move that a tenth of a percent is significant. And the fact that we were able to move that four tenths was really good for our district.
Well, and not only that, but your achievement average went up pretty significantly too. So it was also a 2.0 in 2019, and it went up to a 2.66. So, I mean, that's an even greater jump. What do you attribute that to?
Absolutely, our teachers, our teachers and our students. They worked hard digging into the district curriculum, the standards, the work, even in the midst of all of the challenges that we had last year. Our teachers were committed to meeting students where they were, looking at the learning gaps, some that we've had for a long time in our district, but the teachers identifying those, individualizing lessons and plans for the students, just meeting the students where they are and putting the work in, digging into the curriculum resources. But then our students worked hard. They were committed to being in school, to showing up every day and putting the time in and working alongside the teachers and families as well. Even, they put their trust in sending their kids to school. That means a lot to us, and we appreciate that. And we ask our families to partner with us, to partner with the teachers in ensuring the students are learning what we're sending home. And they did that all year last year. I think we're going to see more of that this year. This school year started out, it's been very difficult. We've had a lot of challenges. COVID is still here. It's still hindering all of us in the community, but especially the school system. But even in the midst of that, Our students have learned that from home they can still work. They can still communicate with their teachers. They can get on Google Classroom. They can complete their assignments. So they're not as behind when they come back and they're sitting in front of the teacher or in the classroom with the teacher. They're not as far behind as they would be if they just missed 10 days or 14 days. And we have several schools that are on the cusp of being reward schools. I think we're going to have even more. We had 2 schools that were reward schools last year, the highest designation you can receive in Tennessee, Capshaw Elementary and Parkview Elementary. So that's super exciting. And I think we'll see more schools added to that list next year.
And not only did you have those 2 reward schools, but this is not Capshaw's first time being a reward school. This is their 6th time, I believe, isn't it?
That is correct. This is the 6th time for Capshaw. It's kind of old hat for them, but that's a real challenge to stay there and to maintain that level of achievement. That is not an easy thing to do. They're committed to that, committed to meeting those measures for their students. We have other schools that are, again, right on the cusp of that, but this was the first time that Parkview has achieved that status to be considered a reward school. There were lots of happy tears when that announcement was made. That was an exciting morning.
Oh, I bet. Absolutely. Because there is, as you were saying, there is a lot that really goes into becoming a reward school. It's not a small achievement by any means.
No, not at all. And it takes the whole school community. It takes the teachers being committed, working with students. It takes students working hard. And then it also takes the parents. It takes the families being committed to working with the teachers, recognizing where the work their children need to do at home. Reading with students. We cannot underestimate the amount of growth we can receive just from parents reading at home with students, especially in elementary school. So parents partnering with the school system, reading to their students, working the math problems at night, making sure they're doing the multiplication tables and working through all the homework stuff that can be a little bit cumbersome. I know that for families, but by partnering with each other, we can ensure that our students are achieving what we expect them to achieve.
That's fantastic. And absolutely Putnam County has seen the results of that. It has seen the results of obviously the entire community of education pulling together with the parents, the teachers, the school system all working together. Because again, these scores are no small feat to accomplish.
Absolutely.
And so this has been a really interesting discussion. Do you have anything else that you would like to share with us before we move along to the next segment?
I just want to say thank you again for all of our community partners. Thanks to PBS for giving us this opportunity to talk about that, brag on ourselves just a little bit in the accountability. We recognize we still have room to grow. We're not hitting some of the achievement marks that we would like to hit, that we expect to achieve at some point. But that's a lot of hard work, but we're digging in. We're committed to doing that. And we, again, want to say thank you to our parents for trusting their students with us, partnering with us to do this work.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us this evening, Mr. King, and congratulations to all of Putnam County schools and to your students, the parents, the teachers. Obviously, a lot of hard work was put in, and especially congratulations to Capshaw and Parkview for their reward school status. And so now we're going to go to our new segment, the Sports Wrap-Up.
This is Noah McKay with the Upper Cumberland Reporter. Let's take a look around the sports landscape in the Upper Cumberland, and let's start with Tennessee Tech. The Golden Eagles in action last week for their home opener against Furman. They fall to 0-2 as Furman gets it done 26-0. The Golden Eagles will look to get it corrected this week as they go on the road to Neyland Stadium to take on the Tennessee Volunteers. Kickoff set for 11 a.m. Now let's take a look around the high school football landscape. Looking back at last week, some great games. White County gets it done over Cookeville 41-13 for the Warriors' first win over the Cavs since 2013 and just their second win of the 21st century, and they did it with the help of junior running back Malachi Dowell. 23 carries, 309 yards, and 2 touchdowns for him. The Warriors improved to 3-1 on the young season. Cookeville falls to 1-3. Last week's high school football game of the week, I was on the call down in Fayetteville as the Fayetteville Tigers got it done 19-14 over Upperman on a back and forth game that came right down to the wire. Now let's look ahead to week number 5, and it's a great week as games going on across the Upper Cumberland, headed by Warren County coming to take on Cookeville, 2 teams that dropped last week's matchups trying to get wins. Elsewhere, Joe Burns takes on Clay County. Jackson County going to take on East Nashville. We've also got our high school football game of the week as Mount Juliet takes on White County. Mount Juliet, the second ranked 5A team in the state, taking on White County, looking for a huge region win. That'll be broadcast live on the Upper Cumberland Reporter Facebook page. That's a look around the high school and college sports landscape in the Upper Cumberland. I'll be back with you next week for week 5. Until then, have a great week.
Hope you enjoyed that. That's our newest segment, the Sports Wrap-Up. We're going to start airing those regularly on Live at 5. So up next, we actually have Ms. Sheila Barker. She is the Social Emotional Wellness Coordinator for Putnam County Schools, and she is here to talk to us today about National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month for the month of September. Welcome, Sheila.
Thank you for having me.
So Social Emotional Wellness Coordinator, what does that mean exactly?
Well, it's a new position that I started last year. I was previously a school social worker, so I worked mainly with students in mental health counseling and resources. So when I changed into this position, I am a support for students and mental health programs. I'm also a support for school, the teachers, the staff, all the different departments, and offering wellness classes focus on mental health. And providing also some individual counseling that is, as needed or as they request. I'm also responsible for any of the mental health programs that are provided for students in with the school workers and the school social workers.
Okay, so you told me that September is actually National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. So
Right.
What special things do you have planned, or what are you working on this month for that?
Well, what I focused more on is with suicide prevention, the biggest thing is trying to bring awareness to the community, and especially within the school setting for students and for staff. Because everybody knows we're in the middle of a pandemic, so the issues with suicide have always been there, but I think it's probably increased, or even the statistics show that it has increased over the last several years, especially the last couple of years. And so just making sure that people are aware of the resources and people know what the warnings are. And so that was, I had sent out an email to all the Putnam County school staff so that they would be aware of what the resource available for them. And then we work with the counselors and the social workers, for students as well.
So what are some of the resources that are available for either the students or the faculty and staff in Putnam County?
Okay, there's a hotline. It's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. And that, I don't know if you want me to say that number on here, but it's 1-800-273-TALK. And they can also text the word HOME, HOME, to 41741, which is a text line. We have students that actually have said they use that, because kids like to text instead of talk a lot of times. And so, but there's also resources through the National Alliance for Mental Illness or Mental Health. It's AMI. And that was a resource that I had sent out to the staff as well. And it has resources about what the warnings are, where can you get help. Then we also provide resources like Plateau Mental Health Center that we have locally, a crisis line for adults. And then there's also the education support line. So we just, try to provide all those resources for them to be able to reach out to.
So you've mentioned a couple of times the warning signs. Can you give me a couple of the warning signs that people should look out for that indicate that somebody might be having suicidal thoughts, or that they might be even, just suffering from some depression?
Right. There's a lot of warning signs, but usually you will see them more withdrawn. Sometimes there's sleeping a lot, or you'll see a more depressed look. There's also not not eating or maybe eating more than usual. Um, there's could be a change in mood, like irritable. And everybody's different about how they present that. And sometimes you'll hear people say, well, we didn't see any of that. They were just happy-go-lucky. And so, sometimes people don't, show those real outward signs. But most of the time you will see some kind of change in their demeanor.
So the significant thing mostly to look out for is an unusual or significant change in behavior, sleep, eating, because it can be different for different people.
Right. And it could be a gradual change. Like I know students sometimes will notice they don't want to participate in those activities that they normally want to participate in. I mean, and it would be the same for they might start isolating themselves. Coworkers, you might start to see them kind of not be very interactive and just kind of themselves. So those are all red flags.
Okay. So you also mentioned that October is National Bullying Prevention Month. So do you have anything planned for that?
Well, we're in the process right now in talking to the school counselors. During October, they teach lessons about bullying. Those are done usually kindergarten through 8th grade.
So it looks like we've lost Ms. Barker. So October is National Bullying Prevention Awareness Month, and I know that Ms. Barker is doing a lot with Putnam County school systems. And as she said, there's a curriculum that the teachers will be teaching about bullying. And those two topics really do go hand in hand, because a kid who is consistently and persistently bullied can sometimes start to experience depression, and the parents may notice that there'll be a change in eating habits or that their grades will start to decline. And so it's important to really pay attention to those things. And we'll make sure that those numbers that she shared with us are shared on our website on the at-home learning page, so that you'll be able to go to wcte.org/at-home learning to find those resources for Putnam County Schools. And of course, you can also reach out to Ms. Barker for Putnam County Schools. So in a few moments, we're going to have a discussion with Dr. Sharon Anderson. She's the curriculum supervisor for Putnam County Schools, grades 7 through 12. So we'll be back in just a moment with her.
Living Minute, a look at the latest medical innovations changing our lives. Brought to you by Thermo Fisher Scientific's coronavirus testing program for schools and the Health Channel.
Long-term COVID is a serious complication that can strike anyone. But according to new research from the Cleveland Clinic, the risk for those who are obese could be much greater. Researchers found that of the nearly 3,000 people followed, the possibility of long-term COVID in those who were obese was between 25 and 39%. Other studies have shown obesity leads to a greater risk of needing hospitalization and ventilation support in the early stages of the virus.
We know that vaccines are extremely effective in protecting patients with obesity to decrease their risk of contracting disease. So knowing that these patients are greater risk to develop complications, we can say that vaccines would be essential in these patients.
Welcome back. And we are joined now by Dr. Sharon Anderson. She is the curriculum supervisor for grades 7 through 12 in Putnam County Schools, and she's here to talk to us about advanced placement courses. Welcome, Sharon.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So you're here to talk to us about advanced placement courses. So can you explain to us, let's pretend that none of us know what that is. Can you explain to us what is an advanced placement course?
The advanced placement program dates all the way back to the 1950s. And in 1956, the College Board took over the administration of the program. And it was advanced placement is coursework designed for students to take very challenging courses while in high school, college level courses, take an exam at the end of the course, and potentially earn college credits while in high school.
Well, that's pretty interesting. So what is the requirement if a student is actually interested in taking an advanced placement course? What do they need to do?
Our advanced placement courses are open to any student who is interested, as long as they've done the prerequisite coursework. Many of our students come into our AP classes having done honors coursework as a freshman or sophomore, but we even offer an AP course, a couple of AP courses at the freshman level, AP Human Geography and AP World History. AP in general offers over 38 courses. In Putnam County Schools, we have 20 different courses at Cookeville High School, 12 at Upperman, currently 1 at Monterey, but we're hoping to keep expanding those offerings.
Okay, so what does it mean then if a student takes an advanced placement course? What benefit does that actually have for them?
There are multiple benefits to taking part in the advanced placement program. First of all, it's earning college credit, and that allows students to skip some of those freshman, sophomore level courses in college, depending on how well they score on the AP exam. The colleges determine what scores they accept to award certain credits. It can help parents save money on tuition because the fewer courses you have to take to attain your degree, it's going to save you money. It helps students build their college skills and their confidence that they can do college level work. In fact, to me, one of the most exciting things is seeing some of our students who may go into an AP course thinking, well, I don't know if I'm college material or not. They are successful in the AP course and they leave saying, hey, I can do this. So that helps us encourage students to go on to college or some post-secondary work. It's also a good way for students to explore potential career paths because the AP courses range across the content areas. There are AP courses for computer design. There are AP statistics and math courses. If you're interested in engineering, AP Calculus would be a great fit for that. It also helps stand out to colleges. When colleges see AP courses on a transcript, and you don't necessarily have to earn an A in that AP course, passing the exam, of course, is very helpful, but that tells colleges that you, as a student, have determined you're up to this challenge. You want to take on the challenge. So even a lower grade in an AP course than in a regular level course is going to stand out more to colleges. Students who
We are having some Skype difficulties this evening, folks. So Dr. Anderson has a lot of information to share, and you can find out more by going to the school, talking to the school counselor. A great place to start is probably to look at what schools your student might be interested in and find out what scores they require to accept different AP courses. So that's actually a pretty good place to start. And then always go talk to your school counselor and talk to them about taking AP courses. And as she said, the AP courses are open to anyone who really wants to take them. There is some benefit to taking an honors course beforehand, but you certainly don't have to for a lot of the courses that she mentioned. And AP courses, if you can skip having to take some of those basic entry-level college courses when you get to university, not only does it help you academically, but it does help you financially, as she mentioned, because, the fewer classes that you have to take once you get to college, the better. Oh, it looks like we have her back. So is there anything that you would like to say in conclusion? I know we got kind of cut off. Is there anything that you want to tell parents? Like, where is the best place for them to go to find out information about this?
Well, a good place to start is with your high school counselor. But Putnam County is very fortunate. We have what we call an EPSO specialist, early post-secondary opportunity specialist. That's Jackie Vester, and she is available to help students across the county with any questions they have about not only our advanced placement program, but our dual enrollment, our statewide dual credit program, all of those early post-secondary opportunities that we have available here. And just, to give you an idea of how many students participate in AP, in the last 5 years, we have had 2,502 students take AP exams. Now, that's not 2,500 students, separate students. Many students take multiple exams and multiple courses, but our participation rate is pretty good.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us this evening and for sharing this information with us. Again, parents can reach out to their school counselors to find out more information about this. So thank you so much for joining and sharing this information with us.
Thank you, Misty.
So we are almost finished, but we have a little bit more information for you. So join us here in just a few moments and we'll finish up with the end of the show.
National Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15 to October 15 for recognizing the contributions and influence of Hispanic Americans to the history, culture, and achievements of Central Tennessee.
Learn to cough and sneeze with your pal Grover. Step 1. Realize you're about to sneeze. Step 2. Move your elbow toward your nose and mouth. Step 3. Gesundheit. 1, 2, 3. Remember to cough and sneeze into your arm or elbow and not your hands.
Thank you for joining us again this evening on our special Friday edition of Live at 5. As I mentioned before, I'm Misty Stewart, the Education and Engagement Coordinator here at WCTE. You've probably seen me on other Live at 5 segments. My job here is an amazing one. I get to plan all of the amazing, fun, educational activities that we do at the schools or out in the community with parents and families. One of the most popular events that we do that I had the benefit of being one of the people to help plan is Stations of Imagination, which, as you know, this year we could not do because of COVID numbers. So, in order to give you all of the fun of stations at home, we have created the Imagination Workshop. If you go to wcte.org/SOI for Stations of Imagination, you'll find some of the recipes for some of your favorite stations activities, including rainbow eruptions, marshmallow engineering, and the Clifford slobber slime. In addition to recipe cards that you can print or view online, I have also provided you with a parent guide or a parent caregiver guide. What this does is give you some additional tips and information. You can absolutely do any of these activities at home and just let your kids go and enjoy the fun. But if you wanted to make it slightly more educational, the parent guide is there for you. So it'll give you tips on how to make adjustments to make things more accessible for some learners or how to make things a little more challenging for other learners. It'll also give you ideas on what types of concepts your kids can learn from the activities that you're doing. So if you'll go to wcte.org/SOI for Stations of Imagination, you'll find that information available for you. And if you do these activities at home, do us a favor. Send us some images of you and your family doing these activities because we love to see you and we love to see you having fun. And you can send them to me at mstewart@wcte.org. We also have a new Pbs Kids Show coming up. It's going to premiere on October 4th called Alma's Way. It is created by Sonia Manzano, who you might know better as Maria from Sesame Street. It's a fantastic new show that we know you'll enjoy. Also keep an eye on the station's page. We're going to have some take-home kits, seed planting and identification that will be available starting in October. So make sure you just keep an eye on the website. We're always out there for you. We're always trying to do fun educational things to make things a little bit fun and a little bit easier for you at home. Thank you once again for joining us this evening on WCTE's Live at 5.
From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Join us back for the encore on Sunday at noon. A brand new show of Live at 5 will return at 5 p.m. next Thursday. Thank you for watching.